Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Legacy of Dragonholt.
Hope you've been enjoying keeping up with us. You know, we've been making such speedy progress.
It's Grom the Dwarf and Hunter the Catfolk.
Yes, the kitty.
We're sneaking into the mine, the silver mine.
Yeah, we're trying to be stealthy because we figure, although there's only 2 of the goblin guards, we're going to make noise and we're not, like, it's a mine at Lecco.
We're here to evict the goblins.
By force.
Ideally without blowing up or flooding the mine.
Well, you hope that. I'm indifferent to that.
Grom is like, this is boring. I want to go play in the bars. The bars are open now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have decided that we should hide from the patrol.
Yes. So 5, 7... Why 5, 3, 1, 7?
You draw back into the shadows of the passageway. The goblins pause in front of the opening to jabber at one another for a moment. The light of your lantern from the... You shield the light of your lantern from view, but accidentally touch it to the passage wall, creating the faintest dull clank that echoes softly down the narrow tunnel.
You are a git.
If you have reasoning skill or stealth skill, read entry 9780. Look, I'm the active player on this one, and I think that was your fault.
How was it my fault?
You were holding the lantern.
Yeah, because you clanked it against the... You're a clanker. Just admit you're a clanker. You didn't even need a lantern. The lantern was for my benefit. And you still managed to screw it up.
Yeah, I'm stealthy. This is your fault. What did I say? 9780?
Yeah.
You carefully pull back and hold your breath. Silence follows and the goblins don't seem to have noticed the sound. After a long moment, the goblins continue on their way, jabbering to one another as they go. You wait patiently until they are long gone before you take a breath and slip from the side passage.
1751. We're off grid.
We're going off grid.
1751.
1751.
You follow the main passage along the route you recall from the map until you come to a large rectangular room. On the left is a vast stone trough. A pipe nearly an arm's length across emerges upward from the stone floor to deposit water in the trough, but no water is flowing now. A water wheel connects to a collection of gears that powers a small water screw, presumably the one meant to pump the water up to the river above. Along the back wall is an iron walkway elevated above the ground. Under the walkway, a large furnace is set into the wall, cold and dark. Above, along the walkway, are a series of levers and wheels. So, craftsmanship, we can heat the furnace and get the pipes running again. We can blindly attempt to activate them or ignore them. I'm going to choose to use my craftsmanship and fix the pipes. 1931. 1934 even.
Yep, I agree. We should get this running again.
Yeah, we want the mine to be there. We want it to still be there when we get paid.
So you've hit your token there, so that means they can both reset.
Yep.
And 1934.
1934.
You heft a shovel and begin loading coal from a nearby pile into the furnace.
Stealthy, right?
You find tinder in a small alcove beside the furnace, and soon the furnace is aglow with heat. With the furnace running, you take stock of the controls and mechanisms, testing a few to see how they function. You determine that the pipes are still workable, and spinning a wheel, you hear the screech of long steel metal sliding against metal as the large water screw begins to turn. You release one lever and the screeching stops, and the screw builds up speed. Before long, a constant stream of water pours from the water screw to fill the trough. You pull another lever and the smaller water screw begins to pour water from the trough and out of the mine. After making a few more minor adjustments to the speeds of the 2 screws, the water level in the stone trough is constant, and you believe you've successfully activated the pipeworks.
Mark story point H6. Time passes.
And then read entry 6897.
I'm guaranteeing you that is going to bring attention because we just made a lot of noise.
I will kill them all.
Oh, good. I'll stand here hitting them with a pipe. 6897. Goblins!
Hunter's like, well done.
Well done, you made the pipes do things.
You leave the pipeworks behind and descend a set of stairs into another tunnel. Just then you hear an odd scraping sound. Carefully you edge forward and look around a corner. A side passage opens up into a natural cavern which is studded with small fungal growths that glow with a faint purple luminescence. To one side of the cavern, a lone goblin is leaning over looking at something on the ground and making small snorty giggles. Whatever it's doing, it doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Draw your weapon and attack! Sneak up behind the goblin and subdue it quietly. Or ignore the goblin and sneak past. There's no skill check for any of this, but it's on you, mate.
Well, I will sneak up behind it and subdue it quietly.
2, 4, 8, 2. Go stealthy.
That's my jam. 2482.
Yep. If this requires agility, I'm going to laugh at you. the one stealth skill he doesn't possess.
On silent feet, you slink into the cavern like a shadow. You are only just out of reach when the creature suddenly stands and jabbers at something to itself under its breath. It reaches for a dagger at its belt.
I could have done this with brawling. How about that?
I have stealth, so 8, 6, 9, 6.
Who would have thought brawling would have worked there?
Well, it probably means you break out into a fight, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stab him with his key. 8, 6, 9, 6.
With a practiced motion, you grab the goblin lightning fast, wrapping it in a powerful chokehold. The goblin is so shocked it barely remembers to struggle, and before long it goes limp in your arms. You lay the creature to rest on the stone floor. See, I quite like the idea that could be done by stealth or with brawling. It's kind of like, it's cool because you imagine it being done slightly differently in both cases.
Yeah.
Like if you're a brawler, I imagine you being like, oh shit, and then so quickly grabbing him. Whereas I imagine if you're doing it with stealth, you just kind of
like it's
grab
just like
him,
a scene from
really
Splinter
practice.
Cell. It's like
cool. Good
10,
job.
14.
10, 14.
You know, the time of night it is. I'm guessing there. It's probably later. You examine what the goblin had been looking at. A patch of odd mushrooms, identical to the ones high on the ceiling and walls of the cavern. The mushrooms in this patch are larger than the others. You pluck the largest one to keep as a sample. You gain one strange mushroom. Item S. Oh god, he was getting high. I didn't read the card number, so keep that on there.
A 6208.
6208.
Hunter's like, look, if you want this to go well, maybe don't eat that.
The mushroom glows from beneath its cap and produces a terribly pungent scent. Could it be poisonous? Instead of choosing a location in the village, you can try to eat this mushroom. Excellent.
By reading entry 7549.
This is a magic mushroom. I'm loving this. I'm just going to put down that I'm holding it.
I wonder if there's anything else we can do with it.
We're probably going to be able to sell it to someone. We'll probably be able to sell it to Mariam.
Hunter's like, listen,
Don't
I'm
eat
warning
that.
you, Grom. Don't eat that mushroom.
But it's so pretty.
Stop it. Hunter takes it and puts it away in his backpack. He's like, I don't think I can trust you with this.
Write it down then. Otherwise, it's in my bag. 6208.
Leaving the cavern behind, you follow the main corridor further underground. After some time, you come across a thick iron door set into the side of a passageway. What you remember being marked as the Blastworks.
Take a look inside. It doesn't exhaust my activation token, so I'm going to do that. We know there's something bad in there. 7053.
Yep, we also know that we should leave our lantern outside.
Yes. Oh god, if I end up cocking that up.
Remembering Fiore's caution regarding the Blastworks, you're careful to place your lantern just outside the doorway as you step inside. The room is square and no more than 4 paces across, with walls, floor, and ceiling lined with rough riveted iron. Nearly everything in the room is metal as well. Mixing stations for powder, supply shelves, crates for explosives, excepting only giant glass jars of raw materials marked with paper labels long faded. The lightning comes from hanging glass flasks full of luminescent purple mushrooms, though time has dulled their light to a soft amethyst glow, making the room worryingly dim.
I don't have alchemy, so I'm just going to grab some explosives. Agreed?
Grab some explosives from the crates.
It doesn't cost my activation.
Can't stop you. 1484.
Do I mark that? I've got explosives?
Well, I'm sure we'll find out in a minute.
I'm marking it down for now.
You search the crates, putting aside piles of straw in search of some usable explosives. It seems the crates have been ransacked already, and at first all you find are broken casings, discarded fuses, and a thin layer of blasting powder at the bottom of the crate.
I don't have awareness or reasoning.
I have awareness, but I'm not the active player.
Well, if you'd agreed with me about the Dragonholt village thing, you'd still be able to do this. 7684. I'm a dwarf. I should know what explosives look and smell and taste like.
I agree. 7684.
But I don't.
You're like, I'm a magician, damn it.
I'm not a magician. I'm a bard.
Musician, that's what I meant. You continue searching and soon discover a crate that must have been missed when the room was ransacked. Among the straw, you find nearly half a dozen explosives that are still intact. You take a few of them, but not sure what is to come deeper in the mine. Mark story point X8.
X8.
Read entry 4037. I feel like we might have found something else interesting then.
Yes. And I get some explosives. I don't have to be aware or logical. I just know things that go boom. Things to make you go boom.
So this is we're both active player again.
No,
now,
I
right?
didn't spend mine. It didn't cost my activation token. It specifically said it doesn't cost it.
Well, does that mean maybe we were both the active player then?
Well, I asked you and you didn't say anything. I said if this was Dragonholt, because it said going into that room doesn't cost my activation.
See, so I think because we didn't actually make a decision,
Yeah, I just
right?
went in
Because the
looking for it.
decisions are highlighted in red.
Yeah, I'm still unactivated.
So what I mean is, like, even if mine had been, well, mine was exhausted at the time because I'd made the last decision.
Yeah.
But because this isn't actually a decision, because it's not highlighted in red, I feel like either of us can complete this.
So when I asked about awareness, that you could have gone yes.
Yeah, I could say, well, I can do this because it's not actually a decision; it's an option. See, the decisions are highlighted in red like this.
Yeah.
And that requires, so I can't fulfill any of these red
But you
options
can do stuff
until
that's
you've had a chance to do one.
Yeah, because you would
But I can
technically still the active player.
I can still help out with this. So let's go to 1195.
Okay, so instead of 7684, 1195.
You continue searching and find nearly a dozen explosives still intact in one of the crates. However, upon further inspection, you notice the straw padding and the paper of the shells is molding. The blasting powder in these would be too damp to be of any use, and no doubt why they were left here to rot. You carefully check over the other crates until you at last find a single stick that was missed when the room was ransacked. You ensure the wrapping is dry and shows no previous water damage, and the fuse is sturdy.
Okay, so we get M7 instead of X8.
Yeah.
So, what was the one you screwed up?
I replaced the sheet.
Oh. Didn't even notice.
You cautiously open the door to the main corridor and look down in confusion, realizing your lantern is missing. Standing in front of you is a goblin holding the lantern and examining it curiously. That's hilarious. Like, where did this come from?
The creature looks up and sees you standing in the doorway, and for a moment neither of you move. Then it shrieks, drops the lantern to the ground where the glass shatters. Before you're completely aware of what just happened, the goblin is sprinting down the tunnel ahead of you with surprising speed. The lantern oil on the ground catches and a fire soon spreads over the tunnel floor. We don't have a frost rune.
We don't have a frost rune, and this is your call as well.
We know all the explosives in there are damp, so they're not
Where
going
would we have got a frost rune?
the apothecary shop or the library,
Or the shrine?
maybe. No. Yeah.
I suppose actually you could be doing this adventure at any point. You didn't
Yeah.
have to go to the smithy when we went.
True. We know that the fire is not going to cause a problem because you just searched and found all the explosives gone. However, should we put them out first?
They did say that they wanted the mine back in one piece.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll put the fire out. 5-5.
I don't see why you can't put the fire out while I chase the goblin.
Well, because it's a big fire and you have to help me.
Okay, so we go to entry
5-5.
519.
So the goblins are going to know we're coming.
Probably.
Well, that
Let's-
guy's not stupid. 5-5-1-9. 5-5.
Yeah. I'm
gonna
with you. I'm with you.
Gonna keep saying it until you start turning pages.
Just making sure I get the pictures here.
Thinking quickly, you kick the lantern down the tunnel to remove at least one source of ignition from the pooled oil. Next, you untether your bedroll and throw it down to smother the remaining flames. As you stomp out the last embers, you hear a clattering shriek. You look up to see the fleeing goblin has tripped over the discarded lantern and is now struggling to its feet once more. You scoop up your bedroll, only slightly singed, and give chase. 4-4, 4-7.
So we're both back to being active.
I'm still technically going because that wasn't a decision. So it led into that was just a
No, but you made the last decision.
Yeah, but I'd still be the active player for now. Is my point.
Right? Yeah.
But so apparently kicking a lantern, he tripped over it. He's an incredibly crap goblin. So
He's a goblin, isn't he?
I shatter this, and then I kicked it at him, and he tripped. You keep running, following the goblin on what appears to be a way station for mining carts, nearly empty except for a pair of carts sitting on a downward sloping track. Without slowing down, the goblin jumps into the front cart and releases the brake lever. The cart quickly picks up speed as it glides along the tracks, and its goblin rider lets out a self-satisfied cackle. You leap into the other cart, lift the brake, and are soon speeding along after the creature. The carts careen through the dimly lit mine tunnels, increasing in speed as the tracks take you deeper underground. The goblin takes notice of your rolling pursuit You're gaining on it. 2 versus 1. The creature hefts a sizable rock from its cart and holds it overhead, ready to toss it in your direction. You have runes.
Blast the stone from the goblin's hands.
You can anticipate the goblin's throw and dodge. I reckon that would take agility. You can catch the hurled projectile. Again, probably agility. Or we can just blast the bastard.
I might as well just blast him.
Cool. 7590.
See, Hunter's thinking, like, if this goblin gets away, then we're going to have much bigger problems on our hands.
Things that made you go boom.
What did we say?
7590.
The goblin raises the rock. You slip your blasting rune from a hidden pocket. Just as the creature is about to hurl the object, you channel the magic of the shard into a column of force that catches the stone from between the goblin's hands and sends it hurtling through the darkness of the tunnel ahead. The goblin stands in its cart for a moment, dazed and confused, gripping at the empty air above its head where there was once a rock nearly as large as its chest.
2472. Now this is going to be interesting.
For you.
Oh dear God. The passage opens into a much larger natural cavern, eroded by an underground river over the centuries. The chamber is several paces across and extends to the right far into the darkness. The track ahead crosses a bridge over a narrow channel of water before coming to an abrupt halt at a buffer stop. As soon as the goblin's cart clears the bridge, the creature leaps out and tucks into a nimble roll before bouncing back to its feet and turning to face you. The abandoned cart crashes into the buffer stop with a cacophonous ringing of iron. Your cart crosses the bridge, and it's only a moment for colliding with the cart ahead and coming to a dead halt. I have athletics.
So our options here are throw the brake lever, leap from the minecart to safety, use the cart's momentum to launch a flying assault, tumble from the cart and fire at the goblin, throw the cart at the goblin with your tremendous strength, or launch the minecraft at the goblin with runic magic.
Minecart.
Minecraft.
Cart. I can do the throw the cart at the goblin with my tremendous strength, and that should kill him. Let's face it, we're going to hit him with a cart that we're both in. That's going to do a lot of damage.
Go for it.
Okay, athletic skill. 2224. Boop. Is that or jump? And let's face it, I'm a dwarf. We don't jump.
You throw your weight against the front of the cart, causing it to tip forward and drop you to your feet between the rails. As the minecart flips, you grab the rim and heave, using the cart's momentum to hurl it over your head. The cart hurtles end over end through the air toward the goblin, who is too shocked to dodge. The errant minecart collides with the goblin full on and tumbles past until it comes to a stop against the back wall. The goblin, or what remains of it, lies motionless on the ground.
Strike! What the hell?
6323.
6323.
Jesus, bowling for goblins.
Let's see you make that shot. Alright, we're both recharged now, I think.
I think so. Having dealt with the fleeing goblin, you take a better look at your surroundings. This larger tunnel was clearly carved by the underground river, but the back wall has been braced with sturdy wooden beams, and multiple mine shafts have been dug through the stone. To the left, the tunnel is blocked off by a dam and made of tarred wood with fortified iron bands. Water from beyond the dam spills onto a channel that passes under the bridge you rode over in the minecart. To the right, the natural passage continues on until you can no longer see its walls through the darkness. Braced against one of the support beams, some 10 paces away, stands a rickety wooden shack that must have once served as a foreman's office.
We have marked H6. I'm pretty sure that was the waterworks. So 6522.
Oh, cool.
Pretty sure that was the thing that stops us from drowning. So, 6522 is on that page.
Oh. The dam bows in the middle from years of water pressure. There are gaps along the top of the dam that you take to the emergency overflow relief. The structure below the gaps is worn as if water flow. Jesus, it's a lot of reading.
There is a lot of reading.
The structure below the gaps is worn as if water flowed through for many years, but no water pours forth now. You can see a large pipe nearly as wide as your arm.
Nearly as wide as your arm is long, that extends from the water beyond the dam and up through the stone ceiling. The piping shakes slightly, and you can hear the distant grinding of the Dunwar water screw pulling water up through the mine. Thanks to your efforts at the pipeworks, you can see that you've relieved an immense pressure from the dam. 1511. We didn't break the dam.
We saved the mine. We're heroes.
Well, If we don't get out of it, we're not heroes. We're martyrs.
We should both be active now, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly you realise that 2 goblins have been standing a few paces away from you for some time.
Great awareness there, Puss.
You didn't notice either.
I don't have awareness as a key skill. I'm not a hunter from the wilds who's good in the trees and has night vision.
I don't like caves. Caves are your territory. You lived in caves.
I can't even make the argument it's mine because it is. Shut up. I was kicked out. There's a reason.
I got lost because I couldn't see anything.
No. I kind of walked into the wrong part of the mine and it turned out to be yours.
One of the goblins holds a spear and gawks at its incapacitated comrade.
I believe he's more than incapacitated. We turned him into paste.
The other carries a bow and stares wide-eyed in your direction. The goblin archer clutches at the arrows in the makeshift quiver at its belt. The spear-wielding goblin turns its gaze towards you and rushes at you shouting. Kill him! Kill them all!
Have fun with this one, Mike, because archery skill, I've learned what happens when I run at an archer. It does not end well.
So I'm going to fire at the goblin with my bow.
808.
I'm going to fire at the goblin archer with my bow.
Yeah, I've already learned what happens when I try to rush an archer. It does not go well. I've still got a scar. Look, right here. Right there. You see that? Yeah. Stitches ain't covering that and you didn't offer to heal it. 8081.
I think it'll serve as a reminder to you to work on your music skills. Remember how you had the option to play a bardic song?
I tried. It turned out that it was...
You decided against it because you know what would have happened.
No, I forgot the words and my guitar string broke.
You've drawn and knocked an arrow in an instant. The shaft flies and amazingly collides with the goblin's arrow in midair. For a moment, neither you nor your opponent can believe what happens.
Please tell me you have awareness or willpower.
I do have awareness.
Thank you. So what page is that?
3524.
I love that it's awareness that, oh crap, I should shoot again. Or willpower. Well, that's not going to happen twice. 3524.
The goblin seems to have found this event hilarious. It begins to laugh and point at the arrows on the ground and jabber something to its spear-wielding companion. You take advantage of the distraction and loose a second arrow at your opponent. The laughter is cut short with a wheeze as you score a direct hit right between his eyes, one of which pops out and dangles on a weird thread. The goblin archer collapses. 7380.
Wait, I thought it was 3780.
7380.
Ah, okay. And that's why there's 2 of us. So you are done. It's my turn.
Yep, the spear-wielding goblin is bearing down on you at a run.
Oh, for the love
Its
of God.
spear point is trained at your chest, and the goblin screams surprisingly loud for a creature its size.
Crap. Runes apparently a very good skill to have.
Yeah, runes comes up all the time.
I know, and it's always when I need it. Shall I try to dodge and counterattack or disarm? I am a brawler, so presumably I can disarm someone.
I mean, you've got athletics, right?
Yeah.
But not agility.
No, so I doubt I'm going to dodge. I can run, I can't move quickly. I'm going to try and disarm him. 5970.
Cool.
Let's see if Brawler is actually going to do something, because so far the only time it's come up was on his skill check where he used archery. No, stealth even.
You lower your body, preparing to move as the goblin strikes. Right before the creature thrusts, you shift to one side and step into
Finally!
the oncoming attack.
Brawling skill, 5713. Never bring a knife.
Grab the spear by the haft and push it away from yourself while slamming your palm into the goblin's elbow. You hear a crunch and twist the weapon out of the creature's hands. The goblin collides with you harmlessly. You spin and throw the creature to the ground, swinging its own weapon down to bludgeon the back of its head. The blunt end of the spear jams right through the skull and comes out the goblin's face on the other side.
You were going to call him the poor goblin. I heard that.
No, I was going to say the point of the spear, but I stopped because you're actually using the butt of the spear.
Yep.
The butt of the spear smashes right through the goblin's skull, brains leaking out onto the wooden walkway.
But he lies still.
The goblin jolts and then lies still.
1420. Worth it.
1420.
Mm-hmm.
These goblins don't stand a chance, mate.
It's hilarious.
Just as you think you might have found some peace, you hear a sound like oncoming thunder. After some time, the noise resolves into the sound of countless goblin feet flooding into the cavern.
Balls.
In moments, the chamber is filled with goblins flowing out of the tunnels and packing shoulder to shoulder in a ring surrounding you. The goblins jeer and brandish weapons and torches. Though the air is filled with malice, none of them attack. Uh-oh. The door of the foreman's office creaks open and the goblin horde falls silent. In the doorway stands the single largest goblin you've ever seen, easily half again the height of any other goblin, and as wide as he is tall. Rolls of fat cascading from under his chin. Unlike the other goblins who wear no more than worn leathers, this one is outfitted with a bewildering array of...
Bewilder force!
Unlike the other goblins, who wear no more than worn leathers, this one is outfitted with a bewildering array of armor, all too big or too small for him. A fine breastplate has been deconstructed into sections and lashed awkwardly across his chest. What were once fine velvet trousers are being held up by a hard-working combination of sturdy leather belt and suspenders.
Ew.
And a huge winged helmet sits atop his head, underneath which peek small pig-like orange eyes. The vast goblin surveys the room with a superior glare and idly fingers an iridescent stone fragment on a cord around his neck. He steps out of the office in a manner that seems a passable attempt at looking regal, shutting the door behind him with a slap that shakes the entire structure. He then immediately ruins the grandeur of his exit by taking a final disgusting chomp of the rat on a stick he holds in his left hand and tossing the remains dismissively to the side, eliciting a yelp from the unfortunate underling it hits. I am the great Splig, king of all goblins!
He bellows, throwing his arms wide, splaying bits of half-chewed rat from his maw. We're in luck. I can lie through my teeth.
Yeah, I reckon you should do this.
Yes. Hang on, I'm going to do it in my voice. Oh, great Splig, I come bearing a warning! 5, 3, 6, 7.
You gesture behind you towards the dam.
Are you familiar with that, O king? It is a dam that keeps these caverns from being entirely flooded.
You take a moment for this to sink in before you continue.
You can see that the water spills forth. That is because the dam can no longer hold back the water in the river. It's just a matter of time before all of this is underwater.
At this, there is a hushed muttering among goblins who look up warily, and Splig grinds his teeth for a few seconds before barking, "Silence!" bringing a hush back upon the chamber. The massive goblin squints at you for a moment before giving a rough laugh. "I don't believe you," he grunts.
Ah, we have explosives.
So we can either threaten him with explosives, tell him a tale of tragic flooding, or draw our weapons and prepare for battle.
Well, if we draw our weapons and prepare for battle, there was no point in me just doing that skill check.
I think we should threaten him with explosives.
Yeah, I was going to go for that or tragic flooding, to be honest. Because explosives show, we're going to do this and we're going to bring it all down on you, and he might attack us just to kill us.
Yeah, but we actually have good explosives. We could just...
Hey, I would have had good explosives. X8's marked as well.
Yeah, but I reckon if
You're the active character, so I can only argue so much.
I reckon that if we follow this chain, it would say X8 go here and M7 go there. And it would say that those explosives are
Fizzle. 5910. Fine.
You take the explosives out from your pack and brandish it, causing Splig and many of the goblins to lean forward and get a better look. You explain that it's an explosive powerful enough for mining. You explain further that your only goal is to remove any living goblins from the mine, but you have no issue leaving dead ones behind. I can imagine Hunter taking over. Hunter's like, this lie isn't working. This is an explosive. It takes another moment for the goblins to comprehend the precise nature of your threat, but when they do, they draw back in fear, hissing and pointing at the explosive. Splig stares at you while the reaction builds and then puts his hands up for silence. Pata! That could be dung wrapped in paper! I don't believe you!
He turns up his chins and gives you a defiant stare. Are you going to light the fuse?
I'll light the fuse.
What's that? 5, 7, 4?
4, 3, 4, 1.
4, 3, 4, 1.
Hunter ain't afraid.
So that was a decision that I had to do because you had reached yours. That was red, right?
Oh, was it? Light the fuse?
Yeah. Red.
Okay, yeah, so that's you. So the next one's me? You shrug and touch the end of the fuse to your lantern flame. A moment later, sparks dance on the end of the bomb's fuse and Splig's eyes go wide. He opens his mouth and then closes it. Looks between you and the burning fuse, increasing in speed as it burns. Your heart is racing, but a confident smile on your face, even as the flame hisses closer to the explosive powder. Finally, Splig cracks. "Stop!" he screeches. "We will talk, yeah?"
Are you going to put the fuse out, or are we going to blow up the mine? Blowing up the mine kind of defeats the point.
I think we put out the fuse and let Splig talk.
2922.
It was, I mean, I don't actually want to destroy the mine.
Well, I'm indifferent to it. We got paid up front.
No, we got paid half up front. There's more money.
Still a win. Splig waves his arms grandly, and there's a sudden hubbub of rustling and shoving as all the goblins part to allow their leader to approach you. Splig walks up, leans close to you and smiles.
You have a good point. I can tell you are smart. And to tell the truth, I was just thinking of leaving this place. It's boring and the rats are starting to run out. But, and this is the important part.
He pokes you in the chest with one meaty finger.
The king of all goblins can't leave just because someone told him to, yeah? So we gotta fight.
You open your mouth to protest, and he shakes his head quickly, sending the big winged helmet wobbling side to side, and leans in closer. Reflexively, you hold your breath.
Not a real fight, just play fighting. Show style, show this lot.
He gestures at all the goblins.
They were forced, it was honor, yeah?
You're iffy on this idea, but you nod begrudgingly. Splig laughs. Leaning mercifully backward,
Fight time!
he declares, and holds his hand up to the shrill cheers of his cohorts. He holds out a meaty hand, and the crowd parts from the 3 goblins to carry a massive oaken club. Splig takes it from them with satisfaction, patting its gnarled surface as they scurry away. You make a show of stretching, crackling your knuckles, and leaning with your neck back and forth, basically limbering up for a fight, with a bit of subtle bravado thrown in. Splig attempts to stretch for a few embarrassing moments, huffing and groaning, then gives up, acting as if he'd done exactly what he means to. We both refresh activation token. You decide to make this fake combat official.
Splig,
You declare.
I challenge you to combat for the fate of these caverns. If I win, you and your people will leave.
Splig laughs loudly.
Big words!
He bellows. Right. We're both in on this, so do you want to use your ranged expertise, or do you want to give the goblin flunkies a show? I think one of them's going to cost us some stamina.
I think I'll use my ranged expertise, because that's sort of using my skills.
9581. To be fair, he said it was a fake fight. He said nothing about shooting him. Probably should have thought that through.
Can I just shoot him?
9581. You swiftly pull out your bow and loose an arrow that impacts directly by Splig's feet, causing him to leap back as it shatters with a loud crack against the cavern floor.
Ha!
He barks, scoffing.
You completely
Your second arrow, held at the ready for precisely the moment when Splig laughed, strikes the wide wing on the left side of his helmet, whirling it partially around his head like a spun top and obscuring his vision. He staggers back in sudden surprise and sets his helm somewhat back to rights on his head. The big goblin's face is now flushed and furious.
Hey!
He bellows.
You're not fighting fair! Come here and fight me for real!
His words are cut off a second time as a third arrow spins the helmet directly around on his head, entirely covering his face. Splig growls with anger and turns his helm back just in time for your foot to connect with his stomach in a powerful kick, sending him sprawling to his back in an undignified mess. 3361. I have a feeling embarrassing him might not have been the way to go.
Well, I was supposed to beat him out of here, right?
Well, yeah, but not embarrassing him is probably going to bite us in the arse. You lean over and press your voice into the somewhat theatrical sotto voce, ensuring the surrounding throng cannot hear.
A deal is a deal, O King.
You mean to continue, but you are well and truly startled as the giant goblin grabs your leg and with a sudden roar throws you aside.
I lose 3 stamina.
Yep. Told you embarrassing him probably wasn't a good idea.
I can take 3 stamina. That's fine.
Yeah, it's whether or not he actually leaves now. You're able to roll back to your feet without much of an issue, but when you rise, you see Splig getting to his feet as well, his hideous face red with rage and wounded pride. A long silence stretches out as you and the massive goblin regard each other carefully, trying to seek out the correct next step. The silence around you is broken by a soft whisper, one goblin chanting, "Splig! Splig! Splig!" over and over, joined by more and more of them until the room shivers with the noise, carried by so many shrill, raspy voices. You shift and hold your weapons tighter, growing more wary by the moment, feeling the hairs on the back of your neck stand on end as the chanting and the echoes it produces in the vastness of the cave overlap one another in a crashing cacophony. You see Splig surveying the assembled goblins, his expression slowly morphing from frustrated rage into a dark, sinister smile. Finally, he turns his gaze to yours.
You hear that? How my loyal subjects support me? My subjects!
He roars and the goblins around you unleash a series of cheers in return, causing you to reflexively tense for a fight. Splig cracks his neck and grins.
So good! Gives me energy to finish this fight! And by the way...
He leans over and picks up his club and hefts it before pointing at you.
The deal is off!
You had to embarrass him, didn't you?
Well, I don't. Yeah, but I wonder if he would have kept to the deal.
He probably would have. That's the sad thing.
We don't know.
So, do we want to toss explosives at him? I can't do runic lightning because I don't have runes.
That's true. It's you.
I can either charge him and brawl, goad him into attacking, or toss explosives at him. To be honest, if we blow up the mine, we're kind of stuffed.
I don't think the explosives is the right way to go.
No. So, do I goad him into attacking, or do I charge him? I'm a brawler.
Yeah, I think charge him, right?
Yeah.
You're
3, 4, 4, 8. Plus, I do have some weapons now.
You grip your weapon and charge the giant goblin. Splig takes a few steps forward to meet your charge. He swings his club in a wide arc, and you swing your weapon to collide with it at full force.
I have 2 of the required 3 skills.
Then 3, 9, 4, 7.
3, 9, 4, 7.
That's right. So this is... Are you using brawling?
Yeah.
Sure.
I could use athleticism, but brawling's more fun.
Yeah, but I feel like whichever one you choose sort of paints a picture of what you do.
I'm brawling with him. Come on, I'm a 4 foot high dwarf against a goblin that's like twice the size of me. I am brawling.
I don't know
for
if
my
he is
life.
twice the size of you. I think he's probably about your size, but that's tall for a goblin.
Do you know what? Let's go with that. That's even funnier.
The collision shakes through your arms and nearly causes you to lose your grip on your weapon. Luckily, the impact has set Splig off balance as well. You recover first and swing again, this time striking the side of Splig's winged helm, ringing his skull. You plant 1 foot firmly and kick him square in the chest, causing him to topple over backwards in an undignified squeal.
3, 8, 5, 7. That's right. I'm in my element now.
You and Splig take a moment to reassess the situation. Smaller goblins gather around you, but you notice that some are sneaking away up the tunnel to the mine's entrance. Splig doesn't seem to have noticed his minions abandoning him. He's too busy watching you and waiting for you to make the next move.
It's on you now.
We've actually both reset at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
So I can shoot him with my bow, I can...
Wait, what?
Use runic fire, or you can continue to fight him in combat.
I have a feeling that you don't have Arcana.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's
archery, or I keep fighting him.
Would you like me to shoot him with my bow, or would you like to keep fighting him?
The deal's off. I mean, their guys are running anyway. They're not going to stay around if he's dead. Go for it. 8, 4, 8, 1, 1, 8.
So I'm like watching you fight, and I'm like, enough, twang.
He's had his fun. He's kicked a goblin king in the chest. I mean, to be fair, that is a great day for a dwarf. Being able to kick goblin royalty right in the...
I'm like, this time, no messing. I'm actually shooting you.
Yeah. This time I'm aiming for your eye socket.
What did we say?
8418.
8418.
Yeah.
Man, this is a really long episode. We're going to have to come back tomorrow and find out the exciting conclusion of the fight with Splig.
Now, do you think it was a good idea for Mike to anger him? Leave a comment to suggest below which side you're on. Because I reckon we probably could have got away with it if we hadn't,
Look, I gave him exactly what he asked for.
What, a butt whooping? No, I think I've given that to him.
Yeah, well, look, it's not my fault that I made him look so bad. He reneged on his own deal.
Yes, it is. You shot the arrows.
Yeah, well, do you know what? He should have just gone, clearly I am outmatched, I should leave. But instead he was all like, meh, I'm a goblin.
Yeah, like a goblin would do. But you know what? We're going to keep arguing about this, but why don't you join us tomorrow?
Where we might teach him a valuable lesson.
Oh, we're going to kill him, come on.
Yeah, he should have stuck to his deal.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll kill him. Not blow up the whole mine.
We're not chucking that goddamn explosives.
See you tomorrow, everyone.
Bye.